I want a president who's got the big heart like Kamala Harris. Folks, this is a moment where we have an opportunity to elect a good and honorable and decent soul. Someone I've known for 2 decades. I know it's in her heart, and I know what she's capable of. And she will deliver for us here in Pennsylvania. Now, we have an extraordinary power being here in Pennsylvania. It may be the one thing that Kamala Harris and Donald Trump agree on, is that as Pennsylvania goes, so goes the nation when it comes to who the next president of the United States is. So you got a lot of power. And I would argue you've got immense responsibility here, not just to elect Kamala Harris, not just to elect Bob Casey, not just to elect Susan Wild. But I think you've got a real responsibility here to help us write this next chapter in our American story. One that we can be proud to pass on to our children and our grandchildren. And I would say that this responsibility we have as Pennsylvanians isn't just because of our temporary status as the ultimate swing state in the nation. I would argue that it's a responsibility we've had for the last 248 years. It was 248 years ago where a band of patriots came together just down the road in Philadelphia, and we declared our independence from a king, and we are not going back to a king in this country. We're not going back. We're not. We're not. We're not. We're not. We're not. Now, for all you history majors here at Muhlenberg, it's a popular major, apparently. You'll remember that about a decade later, those patriots gathered at Independence Hall again in Philadelphia. And they signed the Constitution of the United States. It was an incomplete document. It didn't have all of us in mind. But the beauty of the Constitution is that it set our nation on this path of self-determination, where we, the people, would be the ones to guide the future of this great nation, where we would come together and we would perfect our union over and over and over again, where ordinary Americans would have the power to rise up, demand more, seek justice, and leave a better place for their children and their grandchildren. It was from that Constitution that we derived our power. But it was actually from a conversation that happened on the cobblestone streets just shortly after that Constitution was signed that gave us our charge as Americans. After signing the Constitution, one of my predecessors as governor, Ben Franklin, and it's true, he was my predecessor, Franklin walked out onto those cobblestone streets of Philadelphia. A woman walked over to him. Think about this for a moment. Women didn't have the right to vote at that moment in America, yet a woman walks over to Franklin, looks him in the eye, and says, "So what do we have here? A monarchy or a republic?" Franklin looked her in the eye and said, "A republic, if you can keep it." Those 5 words, if you can keep it, that's been our charge, Pennsylvanians. That's been our direction from our founding fathers, to do this hard work, to build a more perfect union, to build a more tolerant and just and free society. So are you with me to continue this work, Pennsylvania? Are you ready to fight for freedom? And are you ready to elect the 47th President of the United States, Madam President Kamala Harris. Then let's get to work, Pennsylvania. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
the time we get out of here, I might just go out and get home fast. Get something on the road. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know, sometimes. I feel bad about this thing here.
Hey, you did your best, man.
I mean, we got it good, and I can feed the box. Should I try to? I don't know. I got a good sound. You know? Yeah, it's fine. That's perfect. Nobody's complaining. I have an extra output. Because what I did with you is I switched your one and two to one. So I have two channels of good audio. I have that extra output, which will go in that way. It still he still sounds like shit because I'm still monitoring that. You know what I mean? I still got an input that I'm not sending. Is your boom mic up right now?
Cuerpo a cuerpo, piel con piel, me sale todo cuerpo mujer. Y esta noche vas a saber lo que sentirse mujer, lo que soñaba noche y día, con tú y tú y tú. Con tu cuerpo. ¿Cómo está mi gente? Everyone's cool, everyone's ready to go. Come on. Come on.
travel pool.
Vamos a la buena nación de la salsa que viene Miguel Cardona Jr. Vente, Bobby, come on. Grab a mic, grab a mic, grab a mic. Grab a mic, go. Mi gente, lo más grande de este mundo, siempre me hacen sentir un orgullo profundo. Lo llamé, no me preguntaron dónde, orgulloso estoy de ustedes, mi gente siempre responde. vinieron todos para oírme guarachar. Pero como soy de ustedes, yo le invitaría a gozar. Conmigo si van a bailar, yo le invitaría a gozar. Conmigo si vamos. Pero que cante, mi gente. Pero vamos a hacerlo. We're going to switch it up, right? We're going to switch up the photo. Yeah, the better in, right? Here we go. Dice, la 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 la, respeta mi gente, la 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 la, respeta, la 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 la, respeta mi gente. Que mi gente se respeta para que lo sepa.
There's two here.
Todos somos boricuas, grítame hueca. ¿Has oído? ¿Qué fue? It's an easy chorus. You don't need to know Spanish to sing it, okay? It's the same in English, right? As it is in Spanish. Ya la 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 la. That's what you're gonna do. Ya la. What do you think? This side or this side? Let's try it again. Here we go. Everybody go, let's go, let's go. Respeta mi gente. Puerto Rico se te respeta. Y a todos latinos donde quiera. Yo le canto al presidente. Tienen que respetar nuestra raza. Por voten por Kamala. Respeta mi gente. So we're gonna switch up the chorus. I'm gonna teach you a little Spanish, but it's easy. It translates to respect my people. Okay? Goes like this. Respeta mi gente. Respeta mi gente. Respeta mi gente. You go. Boom, I got an idea. You guys come in with Respeta mi gente, and you guys come in right after with the la-la-las. Let's try it. Here we go. Wait, let's start over here.
No lo quieren ya.
Para que se echa una mierda. No hay no sense. No, hombre, nada más se para allá. Eso no hace nada de sentido.
Wait, that's what I'm saying. Gracias, mi gente. Que viva Puerto Rico. Que viva los latinos. Que viva. Gracias, presidente.
Sunshine, peace,
The
travel pool.
And you're ready for a mic check on this? Okay. Microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Podium microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that good? Are you good on that? That's fine. All right, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
maybe they fixed it.
situation. And we have very few. It's very hard to get them now. It's because we don't protect them. We don't stick up for them. We don't fight. I mean, we end up taking away their pensions. We end up taking away their house. They end up losing their families. We're going to fight for our law enforcement officers. And being a policeman used to be one of the most sought-after jobs in the country. Today, it's not. I visited a wonderful young family in Long Island. The door opens to a car and bullets start firing out. He's not allowed to do anything. He can't, you know, just horrible. It's very dangerous. And we're going to have it so they're going to want to be cops again. We want to be policemen. My father always said, don't ever use the word cops. That's not respectful. It's a little different than it is nowadays. Can you imagine? Because my father had respect. Our family had always great respect for policemen. I'll never forget, I said to my father, Dad, the cops around here do a good job. Don't ever use the word cops. They're policemen. At that time, it was mostly policemen. Now it's policemen and policewomen. It's good. But that's a different, there's a whole different thing. We're going to bring it back to exactly like my father felt about him. He had total respect for them, and they did a great job. And you couldn't even get on the force. The standards were so high. Everybody wanted to be a policeman, or then, as it kicked in, a policewoman. And they're doing a great job. And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America. We will secure our borders, and we will also rescue our economy, because our economy is in a mess. And I've seen it for a long time. I'm very good at that stuff. I'm very good at that stuff. I've been talking about it for a long time. Scott Bessent, one of the smartest people on Wall Street, has been talking about it. In fact, he said the only reason the stock market's up is because everyone thinks Trump is going to become president this very year. Maybe the top guy on Wall Street. 4 years of Kamala have delivered nothing but economic hell for American workers. You know that. Her inflation disaster has made life unaffordable and cost families over $30,000 in higher prices. It's the cost. People tell me all the time, I actually talk to a lot of people. It's hard to believe. If I'm in a group, I say, come here, what do you like the best? Well, my groceries are they're always talking about groceries and the cost of cars, the cost of everything. The cost of anything. It's all inflation that they created. They created it so stupidly with screwing around with my energy policies. I had oil at $1, I thought it was 87. I was corrected by the government. It was $1.84 a gallon. Think of this. And today you're at $4 and $5 and actually going up. It's going to go up a lot. By the way, the day after the election, if something bad happens, you'll see oil at 10, 12, 15, because these crazy people are trying to force electric cars down your throat. And we like electric cars, but they're not for everybody. And by the way, Elon Musk is incredible, what he's done. What he's done. Do you know where he is right now? He's in Pennsylvania fighting for the election. He's campaigning, Elon. That 22-story rocket ship last week, did you see that? It's coming down. I say, oh, no, it's going to crash. Look at the gantry. It's coming too sharp. Stop it, stop it. I didn't know it was him. I figured it was him because he's so far advanced. You know, who else could do this kind of stuff? Anyway, this thing's coming down. It's wrong angle. And then all of a sudden, you know, it really looked like it had the whole deal was going to collapse, the gantry. That's the thing that holds it up. So it's coming down. And then all of a sudden, wow, you know, massive flames of fire and jets and everything comes pouring in from the left and pushes it over. And then it drops gently down. And then those two big arms come out like you're hugging your baby. Just grab that thing and put it gently down. Put it gently down on the pad. And it was a beautiful thing to see. See, now in the old days, I would have said, hugging something else, and I would have thought that was so smart to say. And then the fake news would be writing stories about it for 2 weeks. So we don't give them those opportunities quite as much, but it was more fun, but we don't give them those opportunities. Just days ago, we had, but you know, Elon, really, we have to be thankful that he gave for the horrible hurricane that did such a big number on numerous states, but North Carolina got hit badly. I mean, they were really hit. And I was there. I was very early there, actually, and then came back, and I met with a very good person, one of the head people in North Carolina. He said, "Sir, you know Elon Musk, don't you?" "Yeah." He gave me the nicest endorsement. He said, "If you don't win, if Trump doesn't win, this whole country is going to be no good. It's going to be no good." And it won't, because their policies, these radical left policies, will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what's going to happen to us. And I said that years ago, if that ever happened. And we can't let we got to get these people the hell out of office because they're bad. First of all, they're incompetent, but they're bad. But he said, "Sir, could you do us a favor?" What? He makes something called Starlink. I said, "What's Starlink? Tell me what Starlink." It's a communication system, because all our wires are buried underwater. You had to see this. Areas that never saw water are now lakes. I mean, nobody's ever seen a hurricane. This was a real sort of a water-destructive hurricane. There's never been anything like it in terms of the amount of water put out. It literally areas that were almost like they never saw much rainfall or anything. They're now these giant lakes. And the destruction and the death. A lot of people died, and, people don't know that, but a lot of people died. There are people still missing. He said, "We have no communication. We're cut off from the mainland, and we need Starlink, and we can't get anyone on the phone because, it's a very popular thing." So he explained what it is, and I called Elon. I said, "Elon, you have to do me a favor. North Carolina and parts of Georgia are really in bad shape, and they have no communication. You have to get your Starlink, whatever the hell it is, Elon. I don't know. I don't care, but you got to get some. And if you don't mind," and so I'm talking to him, and you might have heard this. I told it a couple times. I'm talking to him, and I get a note that the man from North Carolina was, "Thank you very much, sir. The Starlink is all being taken care of. It just happened." I said, "Wait a minute." So I said, "Elon, did you approve that?" "Yeah." "How the hell did you approve it? You're talking to me on the phone." He said, "Well, I'm able to do two things at one time." And they got so much Starlink, and I said, "How is it?" He said, a week later, I said to the guy, "How is it?" He said, "It's unbelievable. You saved a lot of lives." So Elon is a great guy, so we want to thank him. Just days ago, we had the worst jobs report in modern history. This is the one. I always said, I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. And I've been talking to you about this is going to happen. And I think we can now say it's in the process of happening. So normally you see all these jobs, everything, hundreds of thousands of jobs, just because of the size. And they just announced, Mike, you'd be amazed at this. Mike, look at our Mike. Look at him. He lost all that weight. He looks so handsome. Stand up. Mike Pompeo. Stand up, Mike. You look so handsome. Wow. Man, I'm going to ask him, how the hell did he do that? That's good. Good. That's great. But I just said, 12,000, and this is an unbelievably, like an unthinkable number. I've never heard of a number that low. I've never heard of it. It's been decades. And I heard that, and then I heard 30,000 private sector jobs were killed in a single month, and nearly 100,000 manufacturing jobs have been wiped out just since the beginning of the year. 100, and those manufacturing jobs are gold for us. Those are the people that make the product. 150,000 Americans joined the unemployment rolls in October, and nearly 250,000 people dropped out of the labor force. Did you ever hear numbers like that? That's like a depression. And I've been saying the D word. I don't like to say it, but I've been saying the D word, the depression. Then they did something even worse than that. A few months ago, they fraudulently claimed that they had 818,000 jobs created, that they created 818,000. That was good, but that just brought us up to normalcy, so it wasn't a big story. Because now all of a sudden, instead of being down 818, they were like normal. And when in fact, none were created. It was a fraud. And the papers refused to write about it as a fraud because they're fake. And it was a total lie. They thought they'd be able to get away with it. through the election. They didn't want to have this information come out before the election. See, and I look up to this guy. Thank you very much. Because this would, in normal times, right? This would, in normal times, be a disqualifier. Do you know she's using my term now? Do you believe it? She uses everything I do. She uses even Saturday Night Live. They copied. They copied. Think of that. Oh, she was great. They copied my routine. I did it a long time ago. They copied the same routine. I didn't. I think I did it better. Actually, I think anybody could have done it. I think anybody could have done it better, Dan. Right? But fortunately, there was a whistleblower on the 818, and I thought it was an amazing thing. So it got released, and now to add to it further, they've just revised other past reports, jobs reports, down by 112,000 other fake jobs were reported. For almost 1 million fraudulent jobs were created, and it all got released right now in front of the election. One day, I mean, it was 3 days that we heard about it, but we're talking about it now. And normally this would be a disqualifier. This would be, you wouldn't be able to even run for office. Meanwhile, 100% of the net jobs created in the last year have gone to migrants. They haven't gone to American citizens. Did you know that? These are depression-type numbers, and that's where we're heading if she's elected. You have a depression, I don't mean like a recession. I mean a depression with a capital D. Under my leadership, we are quickly going to turn this economic nightmare into an economic miracle. We're going to do great things. You are. We're going to make America wealthy again, and we're going to make America affordable again. We have to get the prices down. I told the story this morning. A woman goes up to a counter in a supermarket with 3 apples. It was reported somewhere, and it's just like, this can't happen in this country, and brings them up, 3 apples. An elderly woman brings them up to the counter, and she realized that they're too expensive, and they've gone up so much from the last couple of months. And she takes one of the apples back to the refrigeration section and walks back, and she buys 2 apples instead of 3. This shouldn't be happening in the United States of America. So we're just one day away from the best jobs and biggest paychecks and the brightest economic future that the world has ever seen. But you must vote. Kamala's plan will impose the largest tax hike in American history and raise taxes on the typical American family by at least $3,000 a year. And this is the only politician I've ever seen. You know, she's a very low IQ person. You know. I want to have a smart president. I don't want any more. We had 4 years of these guys. President Xi, Mike, of China is not a low IQ person. Do you agree? He's a very severe person. He's a very fierce person, but low IQ is not one of his traits. Do we agree? No, but these guys, these leaders at the top of their game, and we don't have that. We have people that 30 years ago, Biden wasn't any good. He had the worst policy. If you would have taken Biden's policy reviews over a 40-year period and reversed them, you would have gone down as the single greatest policy expert, foreign policy expert. My plan will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors. Kamala will crush Pennsylvania energy workers, and she's going to ban fracking. By the way, don't let this happen. Her whole life she's against anything coming out of the ground. She likes the wind, the wind. It kills all your birds. That doesn't work. That's the most expensive energy in the entire world. And then after 10 years, when it rusts out, they don't look too good. So she wants to ban fracking, and she's going to ban. That's 500,000 Pennsylvania jobs. There's no way that you can vote for that. That's your biggest industry. You got a lot of stuff under there. It's going to come out, and it's clean and nice and good. And you're doing great things for the country because the country uses it. I will end Kamala's war on energy, and we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. And I will cut your energy prices, all of your energy, gasoline, for the house, air conditioning, heating, everything. In 1 year from January 20th, which would be the day we take over. Oh, it's so close, but still dangerous. These people, how would you like to be Putin and you want to call the United States and you have no idea who to call? No, it's true. Let's see, let's call up the United States. I'd like to work something out. Who do we call? Sir, really, there's nobody you can speak to. I just thought of that the last couple of days. They want to make a deal, Mike, and they have nobody to speak to. You know, maybe they'll speak to the guy right alongside of you. You got a great Senate. By the way, you have a great Senate candidate. I hope you're gonna go for it, David. He's great. I hope you're gonna go. He's working hard. You know, it's hard beating those guys that are in there for 25 years and do nothing. See, when you do nothing, you're a survivor. You can never get yourself into problems. He does nothing for you. He doesn't fight for your frack, and he wouldn't care. He wouldn't even say to her, no, we can't do that. That's going to have a terrible impact on Pennsylvania and the country. He would never say that. He's a survivor. His father was in for 25 years. He's in for whatever the hell he's in for, 25-something. And they're tough to beat, I have to tell you, because he's just a survivor. That's the only thing he's good at. You need more than a survivor. You need this guy. This man is good, David McCormick. And he's working hard. Get him up here. Come on, David. Come on. We got to get him. David McCormick. And I tell you, I've known him for a long time. He was a winner in school. He was a great soldier. Everything was good. Everything was good. You have a chance to get somebody outstanding. And what you have now is not outstanding. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, Keystone State. It's going to happen right here. It all comes down to here. We have a choice. We have a choice between strength, that guy who said fight, 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 and weakness. We have a choice between common sense policies and a radical liberal agenda. You have a choice between a senator who's going to fight with this guy for change or the status quo. We've got to win this election. It's the most important ones of your lifetime. President Trump's putting it all out there. I'm putting it all out there. We need you to do everything you can do to take our country back. We need you to get out and vote. We need you to tell 10 friends. We need you to put up signs. We need you to pray. And if you do that, on November 6th, we'll say on this day, November 5th, we saved our country. We got it back on track. We put the right leadership in place. And we made Pennsylvania great again. Thank you.
Wow. We have some other senators here, and I have to tell you, I think they're looking forward to having him as a partner in the Senate. We have some good ones, too. Senator Bill Hagerty, Tennessee. Tom Cotton, a great guy, Tom Cotton. Tom is a great guy, Arkansas. And Marco is Marco. He's fantastic. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, fellas. That's a great group of people. I heard Marco, that little speech he gave, that was pretty, I didn't understand a damn word he was saying. But he's great. You have a lot of members of Congress, but just a few of them that I have to because they're outstanding. They're outstanding people. John Joyce, Lloyd Smucker, Dan Muser, G.T. Thompson. These guys are all warriors. Stand up, fella. They're warriors. They are warriors. And Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she's doing a fantastic job. She's fantastic. Pennsylvania Treasurer Stacey Garrity. Where's Stacey? Thank you, Stacey. Oh, thank you, Stacey. Good job. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, great guy. Great guy. RNC Chairman Michael Watley, he's doing good. He's doing good. I told him, do me a favor. You've heard this speech before. Stay back. Just work on the votes. We've heard this speech before. You have a man from Europe. I don't know if he's here. I saw him backstage. What he did was, and what he is doing is sort of what we did a few years ago. He's doing a great job. He's always been my friend for some reason. He liked me. I liked him. And he's shaking it up pretty good over there. He was the big winner of the last election in the UK, and he's a very spectacular man, very highly respected, Nigel Farage. He's a little bit of a rebel, but that's good. You know, that's good. Don't change, Nigel. And you have my children, and they are spectacular. Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Laura, and Michael Boulos. And Tiffany's going to have a baby very soon. Going to have a baby. Tiffany's having a baby. Thank you very much. That's really great. They're very good. They're very good kids. And a lot of friends are here. Steve Witkoff is here. He's given a lot of money to different charities and all. He's really, really something. Oh, they're there. I'm wondering, why are all those cameras? That's the innocent right there. And you know, Laura is a superstar. Laura is like unbelievable. Laura has been unbelievable. Laura, you know, she was born and really loves the place, North Carolina, and she can't hold it against her, right? She was born, she loves North Carolina, and so do I, so do we all. We've never had a loss at North Carolina. And she could have been senator very easily, and I said, do you think it's something you'd want to do? Nobody could have beaten her. She was through the roof, and she said, no, I love my husband, I love my children, I really want to give them some time. We end up making her like chairman of the Republican Party. That's supposed to be easier, along with Michael Watley. But she loves North Carolina, and she could have it. And Ted Budd, who's doing a great job. I said, Ted, would you like to run? She said, I'll only run if Laura doesn't run, because nobody can beat her, which is really true. And she said, I think Ted would be great. He ran, he won, and he's a fantastic senator. But I just want to thank this group is a very special group. And Ivanka and Barron. Ivanka called me this morning, and she said, have a great time today, because this is, you know, we're going to be doing 4 of these today. 4. They're big ones. They're big. But we felt we could do the abbreviated version. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I have to get around. Do you mind if we speak for 5 minutes? And everyone said, I guess. But we do the whole deal. You've been with me from the beginning, and I'm with you from the beginning. So. And we have Barron, and Barron he got into a great college, and he's doing really well. Barron is watching us as we speak. He loves this stuff. Barron's watching with our First Lady, our beautiful First Lady. Oh, she's got the #1 selling book in the country. Melania, it's called. Go buy it. Buy it for Christmas. It's beautiful. I read it every page very closely before I recommended it. I didn't know. You got to be careful. Now, she wrote a great book, a #1 bestseller on the New York Times list. You know, for Trump to get on the #1 bestseller on the New York Times list, most people would consider it like virtually impossible, and she did. So that means she sold a hell of a lot of books. And so go get Melania. But Barron and Ivanka, say hello, and I want to thank you very especially. This is our last time now for forever. Well, we started this. Think how sad. We started this, right? And we started it really as a family unit 9 years ago. We've had the biggest rallies, the most spectacular rallies in the history of politics. It's the biggest and most powerful movement in the history of our country by far. And I say that in front of the fake news all the time. There's nobody can correct it. And I tell the story of Pat Buchanan. I like Pat Buchanan. Now he's a pretty old guy. I hope he's around. I think he is, but he's a pretty old guy. But he became very famous and very successful, and he was on all the shows for years, for 40 years, because he came in second in the New Hampshire primary. And he took that. We won 50 states, and then we won the presidency. And we did even better the second time than we did the first time, as you know. We had more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country. And things happened. And I said, you know what? We did so well. Let me see how they're doing. And they were doing horribly, because I didn't need to do this. And they were doing horribly. And I said to the family, I said to Melania, Barron, and I said to Ivanka, I said to everybody, I said, I think we got to do it again. We had, think of it, if I would have done badly in 2020, I wouldn't do it. It would have been easier. But we all know how well we did. And I said, we got to do it again, only because I looked at the incompetence, Afghanistan, you know, all these things that were happening. You take a look at it. You take a look at how bad. Nothing good was happening. We were disrespected all over the world. Other countries laugh at us right now, and now they're laughing harder than they've ever laughed before. And we're not going to let anybody laugh at us. It's not going to happen. So I said, let's do it. Let's give it a shot. And now the people, and it was, you know, quite contentious because you had some people, but now those people are real friends of ours again. And we have a party that's very well united. And most importantly, we're going to show up and vote tomorrow. And if you do, you're going to win. I mean, you know, the ball's in our court. You know, as they say in athletics, the ball is in our court. All we have to do is get out and vote, and we walk away with the greatest political event in history. But much more important, it's going to be the event that saves our country. Okay? So, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. They're really good kids. They're really good. That's not to say that I didn't have little difficulty with them on occasion. Especially Don, but no, I'm only kidding. No, good speeches. Good job. Thank you, kids. I'll see you later. Good. Thank you very much. And your father, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know what was happening. I saw all these cameras turned. I say, why are those cameras being turned away from me? What's going on? But, you know, in a way, they've become stars. They're just great. They're great people. And, you know, they do it because they love the country. They love it. Thank you very much, all. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So here are the facts. And Kamala, now we have to talk. Oh, bring them up. Okay, come on, let's go. They all want me to bring them up. There's a lot of love. Come here, my boy. Come here, my beautiful boy.
Privilege of those who can afford it. And to those certain individuals who still want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, trying to take us back to the days when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions, well, to them, we say we are not going back. We are not going back. And we are not going back. And we are not going back because ours is a fight for the future. is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom, like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And when Congress, with Bob Casey's help, passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. So, Pennsylvania, I'm here to ask for your vote. I'm here to ask for your vote. And here is my pledge to you. As President, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. And I pledge to you my pledge to you to listen to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make, to listen to experts, and to listen to people who disagree with me, because I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. And you know what, by the way, listen, we are fighting for a democracy right now. And we love our democracy, and democracy can be a bit complicated sometimes. But that's okay. We are fighting for a democracy, which is why I say that I am not going to be a leader who thinks that people who disagree with me should be put in jail, that they are the enemy. I'll give them a seat at the table, because that's what real leaders do, and that's what strong leaders do. And it is my pledge to you to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans. So, Allentown, that is my pledge to you. And so let me ask, who here has a plan to vote? Fantastic. That's great. All right. So polls are open here in Pennsylvania tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Let's get the word out. Let's definitely vote. And let's get the word out. All the leaders here, help get the word out to remind people of the hours the polls are open, and to remind folks that they can go to iwillvote.com for all the information that folks may need in terms of when and where to vote, and where to drop off their mail ballots, right? Because that's going to be very important. And to all the leaders here, I ask you to please continue to talk to your friends and your family and your neighbors, and let them know why you decided to take time out of your busy lives to be here right now, and what is at stake in this election. Please share your perspective on why this election is so important, and encourage folks to let them know their voices must be heard, because and UAW is in the house. And I am so proud to have your support. Thank you. I'm so proud to have your support. And we need everyone in Pennsylvania to vote, because you are going to make the difference in this election. You will. So here's how I think about things. We are all here together because we love our country. And when you love something, you fight for it. And I do believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism, of our expression of our love for our country, to then fight for its ideals and to fight to realize the promise of America. And look, I have always believed in our nation's promise because I have lived it. I grew up as a child of the civil rights movement. My parents would take me to marches when I was in a stroller. And there were people there, we've all read and know about it, there were people there from all walks of life who came together in a fight for freedom and for opportunity. You know, growing up, I watched my mother as she raised my sister and me and gave us the same chances our country gave her. I was blessed to have family by blood and to have family by love, who instilled in me the values of community and compassion and faith. I've spent my life fighting for people who have been hurt and counted out, but who never stopped believing that in our country anything is possible. I have lived the promise of America, and today I see the promise of America in everyone who is here, in every one of you, in every one of us. We are the promise of America. We, everyone here, we are the promise of America. We are the promise of America. And I see it in the fathers and the mothers and the grandparents who work hard every day for the children's future. I see it in the women who refuse to accept a future without reproductive freedom. I see it in the men who support them. I see it in the Republicans who never voted for a Democrat before, but put the Constitution of the United States over party. And every day I see the promise of America in all the young leaders who are voting for the first time. Thank you. I love Gen Z. I'm telling you, I love Gen Z, and here's one of the reasons why. So here's one of the things about y'all. You are rightly impatient for change. I know that. I know that. And you, who have only known the climate crisis, are leading the charge to protect our planet and our future. You, who grew up with active shooter drills, are fighting to keep our schools safe. Known fewer rights than your mothers and grandmothers, are standing up for freedom. And for you, none of these issues is theoretical or political. This is your lived experience. And I see you, and I see your power. And we must recognize how bright the future of our nation is because of you. So can we hear it for our first-time voters, everybody? And we need to finish this strong and get this done. So let's get out the vote. Let's reach out to all of our folks in the next 24 hours, family and friends and classmates and neighbors and coworkers. And as we do, I ask, let us please be intentional about building community. Let us be intentional about building coalitions. Because, you know, there's been so much about these last few years that has been about trying to beat people down, trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other, trying to make people feel as though they're alone and don't have anybody. So not anymore, because we all know that our power includes, yes, this vote and this election, but building community and coalitions and reminding folks the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us, and we are all in this together. We are all in this together. And from the very start of our campaign, this has not been about a fight that is against something. This is about a fight that is for something. This is for something. This is about a future with freedom and opportunity and dignity for all Americans. And so in this final stretch, let us remember that we have a lot of work to do, and there is power in our work about reminding folks of their voice and the power of their vote. So remember, your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. Is your power. So, Pennsylvania, Allentown, I then ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.